Well, we are about to be on our way to Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's about 12 hours straight, but we're going to split it up in 2 days. I'm going to do about 7 hours tonight to the Mojave Desert, find a nice dispersed campsite over there, and then we'll finish up the drive tomorrow. I'm excited for the expo because there's always a ton to see and do there. This isn't going to be your regular Overland Expo video. You guys know me. I don't care much about the consumerism or the commercialism of an event like this. There's going to be a ton of vendors. There's going to be a ton of stuff for sale. My goal is not to take you through each one of them and show you the latest and greatest things that they want you to spend your money on. My goal is going to be to focus on the cool rigs we're going to see, the incredible travelers, folks that have done the Pan American Highway or are currently doing the Pan American Highway, and the community aspect of an event like this. So come along and let's check it out. Well, after about 7 hours of driving today, we are finally in Mojave National Preserve, which is just over our halfway point getting to Flagstaff. I'm on the hunt for a campsite right now. I followed a pin for my Overlander and got up here to this little radio tower hill. It is a legal dispersed campsite because there is a fire ring that's already made, and that's the rule here at Mojave National Preserve. You're not allowed to make new campsites, but you're allowed to disperse camp at any campsite that is pre-existing. I like this site. There's a lot of great views and scenery all around us, but from my last experience in Mojave, I know that it's windy. You can feel the wind right now. It's probably not going to get better overnight, and exposed on a hill like this might make for a rough night of sleep. I'm thinking of going back down the road we just came up on and hanging a left. It looks like the dirt track might weave around this rock pile here and end up somewhere at the base of it over there. I'm not totally sure. My cell service out here is limited, so I can't zoom in enough on Onyx or even Google Maps and any of my mapping apps. We've got probably an hour or so of daylight left. It's just after 7 p.m. right now, so we've got a little bit of time to do some exploring before we've really got to set up camp. But it's good to know that this is here as a backup. Pretty fun little hill climb, pretty rutted out to get up here. We were rocking and rolling a little bit. But let's head back down and keep searching. Well, now I think we found our spot for the night, and just in time for a gorgeous sunset. The video is not going to do it justice, but out here in Mojave, the sunsets, the night sky, it's really incredible. If you haven't already been out this way, Eastern California, right on the border with Arizona and Nevada, it's worth the trip. It's a long drive, about 7 hours to get here for me, but every time I come back, I'm reminded how much I love this place. We're tucked in here with some boulders to shield us from the wind a little bit tonight, and just this wide open rocky desert landscape. The rock formations here sort of give Alabama hills a run for their money. Just boulder piles and big rocks to explore. So I love it out here. Well, we're losing daylight fast here, but I wanted to try to climb one of these rock piles, give you a view of the whole area here. Not sure what we'll find. Golly, this place is just absolutely beautiful. This is what it's all about, just being out here. Beautiful desert scenery, catching a gorgeous sunset. Letting the Troopy take me places. Check this out. But the Troopy did absolutely phenomenal on the drive today. It's only been 4 days since we got back from Canada, and that was barely enough time to scratch the surface of all the maintenance that she needs. But she's driving strong. We had no issues with temperatures. It was smooth sailing the whole way over here, and I'm just crossing my fingers that the landcruiser gods stay on my side and our luck holds out. It should only be about 4 or 5 hours to Flagstaff tomorrow, and I'm super excited to get there. For the rest of the night tonight, we're gonna grab a bite to eat and get some shut-eye. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a trip in the Troopy if I didn't encounter some sort of issue along the way. But in the grand scheme of things, this is an issue that I'll take time and time again. This is the first time since I was in Alaska that I filled up my water tank. And as I opened the doors, I noticed some water sitting here on the floor. And it appears I've sprung a small leak. I'm not totally sure where it's coming from. I think it might be the Julka water pump. I'm a little bit worried that maybe there was some residual water left in it when I winterized it for Alaska that could have froze and cracked the plastic or a fitting somewhere. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. If it gets much worse, well, I'll probably drain the tank and resort to using gallons of water for the rest of this trip. For the time being, though, I just shut off the Julka pump because I don't need water right now. And fingers crossed we don't get flooded in the night. I really can't even begin to tell you how nice it is to have the Troopy cleaned out and organized and functioning as intended right now. It is the first time in a long time since I broke down in Alaska that it has been back to this state where I've got floor space to walk around, I've got room to sit in here, I've got room to do whatever I need. This is how I envisioned living out of this truck. And it was so chaotic for such a long time that I sort of forgot what it was supposed to feel like, and this is my first night of camping in it where I'm reminded of what I had envisioned, and I just can't even describe how cool it feels to know that I went from an empty truck to a vision in my mind to now something that's here playing out in reality. There are still some tweaks and definite room for improvement on the build, but right now I'm really stoked. I'm super happy. Well, good morning, everyone. The incredible thing about camping in the desert is that the morning sun through the tent windows is the world's best alarm clock. It is bright and early, 7 a.m. We've got about 4.5 hours to get to Flagstaff today. And we're just gonna go ahead and get moving. We're gonna make it there. It's pretty exciting. Well, my good deed for the day is done. Coming out of Mojave National Preserve, I came across a lady with a flat tire. Her husband's a Marine at 29 Palms, and she's trying to make it to the base. And she was sorely underprepared to fix a flat. Her jack didn't fit her car, she didn't have a lug nut wrench, and her spare was totally flat. So I got to pull out all my tools and put them to use. I had the right socket for her lug nuts. I got to use my jack. My safe jack bottle jack was the perfect size, and my air compressor to fill her spare with air. She's on her way now, and we're back on the road now as well. Good morning from Overland Expo West. We made it into camp last night and got a pretty great little spot for ourselves over here. Today is Friday, day one of the expo, and there's a lot to see and do. I'm feeling pretty excited, and I'll bring you along.
I just drive it till the engine blows up and you swap a new engine. Oh, sir, you dropped your camera lens. All right. So where are you casting around today? Yeah, actually today first thing I had that local news thing. I think they came over here. Yeah.
Right, and I know that if worse comes to worse, I am going to convince the because I've had a lot of
Go.
This is probably one of the most thought out builds I've seen yet. It's given me a ton of inspiration for my own Troopy, and I'm so stoked to see what they do with it.
Check it in.
Oh, check
That's
that out.
our coffee drawer.
Easy access, that's what's important.
Coffee drawer and goodies.
You gotta have the goodies. You got to. Oh, I love it.
Talk about the Pan American Highway, which according to the Guinness Book of World Records is the longest motorable road in the whole world.
Well, it has been an incredible weekend at Overland Expo West. An event like this is definitely what you make of it. If you're in the middle of a build and want to come buy all the things and get the best deals you can, then more power to you. But for me, the real benefit of an event like this is the people that you meet. Walking through the campground, seeing all the cool builds, hearing people's stories, and anytime you get to sit down and hear from people like Graham and Louisa Bell or Graham Jackson or Patty Upton about their lives on the road or the expeditions they've been on, it's just so inspiring. I think in addition to all of that, there were a handful of folks that have either recently done or are currently doing the Pan American Highway, and it was super cool to get to chat with them and learn from their experiences so that my trip can be that much better. There were a handful of Troopy builds that gave me a ton of inspiration and made me think through what's actually necessary for what I want to be doing. So if you haven't been before, I'd highly encourage you to come to one of these events and take from it whatever you want to. As the sessions wrapped up today, the campground pretty quickly cleared out. I would say about 90% of the attendees who were camped have already packed up and hit the road. We're spending the night here though, and I think Johannes and I are gonna hit some trails in the Troopy, so stay tuned for that. As always, I appreciate you being here, and we'll catch you on the next one.